sleep on that Lamar fast break.
Mike Oliver's record set 30 years ago has gone by the board.
Did he make the one-handed catch?
Yes,
Touchdown Cardinals!
That's Marcus
Jackson.
Well, we had a lot of games where we blew guys out too. That's what makes a streak easy, is when you only have to concentrate. If you're going out there every night playing one-run ball games, you're not going to put a streak together. It's just something's going to happen. But again, we had 3 of the top 4 hitters in the league average-wise. We had 3 of the top RBI guys. We had the top home run guy. So I had a big power club. So I would always give them an opportunity to have a big inning. I thought my best move that summer was to keep my hands in my pocket and to stay away from trying to give signals and trying to get too cute. Now, we get down in a close ball game, we practiced scoring 1 run. We practiced bunting and hit and running. We stole home. We did things to win ball games. So we had the ability to do it. But you know, if you're going to have a winning streak, you really do need to have a club that can pound the ball, and that's what we did. That game up at Pocatello, well, all it took to manage the club was tell Van Sly, the owner, that I wanted to do it, because he wanted me to do that originally. I was there in '86 as a pitching coach, and we won the championship that year. Had a great time doing that, and then I can remember going back home and watching the Astros in the '86 playoffs and seeing that big crowd, and I just really wanted to do it another year, and because we drew a lot of people at Salt Lake, so it was that type of atmosphere on a smaller basis. The thing about pro ball that makes it a little bit more difficult is that once you start having a streak like that, they'll start matching their number 1 against your number 5, trying to win 1 out of the 3 games of a series. It's sort of hard to do that. Usually in college, you have your weekday games that your number 4 starter or your bullpen works, and then you have 1 going against 1, 2 against 2, 3 against 3. So if you have a club that dominates, probably a little bit easier to put it together. But having said that, there's not a lot of teams that have had bigger winning streaks than that in college baseball. It's just hard to do it in baseball. Well, it's not hard to recruit good guys, because every year there are players that deserve to sign, and there's not a spot for them. And our guys, they said that they were unwanted. I know several of the guys that scouts had turned in, but they didn't get drafted. So they came there with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They knew they were good enough. They knew they were better than some of their friends and teammates that got contracts. So that's always a good way to start out, is when guys are trying to prove people wrong. You take a lot of the first rounders and 5th rounders that were in that league. They're trying to prove that the scouts were right, and there's a big difference. And it's always fun when both parties. You start out. I love to say it like this with our guys, just like when we go up against big teams. They start out here, and inevitably there's only one way to go. It's hard for first rounders to stay there, 5th rounders to stay there, and here are your guys coming up, and it's fun when you get there, a little bit more fun when you get there. And that's what Salt Lake was, and that's what Lamar is. That's what every team in the Southland Sun Belt. They're guys that maybe wanted to go to the SEC, but nobody gave them the shot to do it. So they try to prove them wrong by doing well when they get the opportunity to play against those guys. That's what my guys did. All my good teams here did, and that's what my team in Salt Lake did in '87.